Welcome to Losi Fanta Audio Adventures. This series is about true stories that really happened. Stories in which men twist themselves into knots, women mercilessly play out their quirks, and no one can seriously claim to have acted out of pure reason. Told with biting wit, humor, and delightful sarcasm. Enjoy listening to the things people do out of love, lust, or desire, and bitterly regret. Experiences caught between heart and body.
Summer Sports Week, or How I Lost My Phone, My Memory, and probably my dignity in Croatia. Back when I was still a young, innocent, slightly hormonally overclocked man, around 17, when the first rebellious beard fluff starts to sprout, my grandpa still called me Yodel, and my brain routinely went on summer vacation. I experienced what the school calendar affectionately labels Summer Sports Week. What sounds like beach volleyball, kayaking, and wholesome class bonding is, in reality, a socially pedagogical mass therapy experiment for pubescent teenagers stuck in a permanent hormonal feedback loop, suffering from testosterone overload and a complete lack of orientation. Mission destination? Croatia. Weather? Hot. Mood? Pubescent explosive. Expectations? Somewhere between maybe I'll kiss a girl and I will get married there and have 7 children immediately after my first cocktail. The plan was simple. Sun, beach, flirting, friends. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. After a few days of athletic exertion, meaning the attempt to play volleyball in a way that still makes you look attractive, we were suddenly granted free time. Yes, like inmates with too much unsupervised daylight. No teachers in sight, just sun, sea, and the school's boundless faith in our youthful maturity. A huge mistake. So we were strolling along the beach when suddenly music appeared in the distance. Loud, thumping, promising, like in bad teen movies right before someone passes out, falls in love, and gets pregnant. Or all of the above. Curious and as dumb as the night itself, we followed the sound, straight toward this acoustic prophecy. The closer we got, the clearer it became. This was not some innocent beach party. This was the beach party. The Italian fucking spring break in Croatia, organized by, oh, what a surprise, an Italian student association whose apparent mission was to annihilate all alcohol reserves of the Balkans by dancing, drinking, and screaming. And there we were, right in the middle, surrounded by testosterone, bikinis, music, and pheromones. Of course, entrance was only 50 euros. Expensive considering that back then it was roughly an entire month's allowance. But hey, we were on vacation, school legally speaking, young, motivated, and let's say, biologically open to adventure. Also, 50 euros for a possible chance with a cute Italian girl? Absolute bargain. Once inside, it felt like a tropical parallel universe. Half naked, screaming people everywhere. Drinks with names like Sex on the Yugoslavian Beach. Music that probably falls somewhere between pure ecstasy and permanent tinnitus. I, the Austrian wannabe charmer, fought my way through the Italian crowd using hand gesture English, improvised amore signals, and a rehearsed smile. And somehow, it worked. Shockingly well. I danced. I flirted. I kissed. Then I kissed again. Then again. At some point, I stopped counting because my brain had officially left my mouth on holiday. Alcohol flowed into my liver like a glacier that had snapped and gone rogue. And then, blackout. Complete end. Cut. The next thing I remember, I'm lying like a stranded fish stick in front of my hotel room, wearing shorts, sand in my hair. one eye half open, the other probably still floating in a half-empty vodka glass somewhere. And then the teacher. She arrived, she looked, she shook her head, and she left. No words, no help, no, "Are you okay?" Just that look that said, "I will never report this because you're already sufficiently punished. You are the personification of pedagogical resignation." So I crawled into my room like a wounded hero from a romantic war drama thinking, what the hell? I felt like I had simultaneously completed a triathlon, a school trip, and a traffic accident. My body, one giant scream of pain. My arms, bloody. My knees, scraped raw. My memory, somewhere in the Adriatic. And my phone, gone. Just gone. Possibly now owned by an Italian DJ using it to take selfies in Ibiza. In the shower, I tried to reboot my existence. That's when I discovered the battle damage of the night before. Scratches, cuts, blood. I looked like I had fought a cactus. With a running start. Naked. Later, I met my friends for the legendary post-mortem analysis. Comparisons were made, bragging occurred, numbers were counted. Who kissed whom? Who drank what? Who is even still alive? And then, the revelation. One friend pulls out his phone, grins, and says, "Dude, you were the highlight last night." Me. Huh? Him. "Bro, look at this!" And there it was, the video of me on the beach, at night, on my knees, in a full-on love tango with a wildly determined Italian woman. Romantic? No. It was more like a zoological mating ritual on a rocky beach. Right next to us, familiar faces, strangers, Italians cheering me on, like I was Roberto Baggio charging alone at the goal. 0-0, 90-minute World Cup final against Brazil. And her? She was celebrated too, as if Sophia Loren herself were gliding down the red carpet, Oscar freshly in hand. We had real, actual fans. And both of us were completely uninhibited, like two hopelessly horny problem cases at a group therapy camp for the hormonally unstable. Fred and Wilma Flintstone would have nodded in approval. That level of commitment on hard stone ground was usually reserved for them during partner swaps with Barney and Betty Rubble. And me? Of course I had to try it too. Purely out of anthropological, geological, and petrological curiosity. For science. And for my cheering audience, obviously. After all, spring break is basically an academic mega-event for students with a pronounced need for physical contact. And if you're going to swing the club, do it authentically. On real gravel, directly on the beach. Optimal study conditions included. And suddenly, everything made sense. My brain could reconstruct a few frames. The scratches, the blood, the pain, the teacher looking at me like a failed social experiment. My body wasn't an accident victim. I had simply been practicing the Stone Gravel Sutra. And that's how my summer sports week ended. Without a phone, without dignity, but with an experience no curriculum on earth could ever have taught me. Conclusion. The only athletic achievement of that week was how I trained my liver, lost my memory, and destroyed my knees on sharp rocks. But hey, you only live once. and you kiss 7 times for it. Or was it 8? Doesn't matter. The important thing is, I was the king among my friends, and I even have video evidence, which I keep purely for academic research purposes, of course.
Thanks for listening. Honestly, respect for sticking it out all the way to the end. I hope you had fun, or at least felt a tiny bit called out. Maybe you even thought, thank goodness that wasn't me. Don't worry, the next story is definitely coming. And next time, too, it'll be about the things people do out of love, lust, or desire, and later regret. Until next time on Losi Fanta Audio Adventures.